Hello, and welcome to the Rag Company podcast, where I am cracking up literally 24/7. My right, I've got Levi.
Hello, feels good to laugh.
Gates, and to my left, I have Anthony.
No, here it comes.
Fisher, and that sums it up. And I'm Dane Hennen.
So Anthony was making a sound earlier that when we were doing our count in and just got Dane giggling.
It's just great.
Well, let's just say that on these headsets and on these microphones, they pick up every little sound. So if I go up on the microphone like this,
get up really close.
It's very uncomfortable.
And rub my nose on it and
our
things
faces
like that.
on
You
it.
hear it in HD, and it's really intense. So
turn up your mics or your headphones if you're got your earbuds in.
I don't recommend it. Okay, so anyway, stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
This is the main show. Number 57.
This is also the start of our next 10 days or so that are going to be insane.
Next week and a half or so is going to be...
We don't get days off.
Bonkers.
That's fun.
We have Sunday off.
Bonkers. So, I mean, we start right off. It starts tomorrow.
Yeah.
With a guest we have coming
So
in.
Tomorrow we've got a guest flying in.
You might have heard of him.
Pan the organizer.
Okay.
So Pan's going to be in town with us. He is going to come in, hang out, check out the Rag Company. He's on a 2-week vacation from work, so he's got...
Coming to America for the first time.
He doesn't sound...
He does not sound like this.
Remotely.
Is this Russian, or I do not know what this accent is?
So Pan's coming. So we're going to do some videos. So we'll pick him up tomorrow from the airport. Yeah. And then he's here till Friday. Mm-hmm. So we're going to do some videos, get some podcasts, do a bunch of stuff with him, which will be cool.
Be fun.
For his channel and our channel. Mm-hmm. You know, we love being able to...
Real quick, though, so for people
guys
who don't know who Pan the Organizer is, you can check him out on YouTube. What he does is mostly detailing reviews for detailing products.
Does a lot
as well as, I mean, he details himself, but he covers a lot. Really in-depth reviews on...
a lot of stuff.
On all sorts of products. And he does a little bit of everything. So everything from coatings to sealants, waxes, cleaners, brushes, towels. He's done
Wi-Fi,
reviews.
Routers and things like that.
Cabinets. I mean, literally everything.
Yeah, he's got a lot. So if you have a burning question, that's probably, you can go to his channel and you probably find the answer.
If it's relatively technical,
cool.
then it's probably something he's done. So
no, he's a wealth of information. He's really nice, and what really caught us onto his videos was the fact that he does these reviews in English and in French.
He makes 2 videos.
And it's so crazy. It's not dubbed. It's a different video that happens to be the same.
If you've ever made a video in your life, you have no idea how hard it is to get 2 consistent videos in a row, but also in different languages. That's crazy to me.
All I know is it's going to be a long week of us doing every video.
We're going to have to translate every video into French.
Are we doing that? I don't know,
but I'm looking forward to finding out.
I know how to say oui in parlez-vous français.
I know how to say French fries.
And of course,
France fries.
Our Canadian friends from the East will correct you and say it's not French, it's Quebecois.
Yes,
Quebecois.
Quebecois.
What's the menage a trois?
Well, then we have another.
That's different.
So anyway, so we have a French Canadian. Okay. We have a French Canadian coming in, a Quebecois. Mm-hmm. We got him coming in, and then this weekend we've got Justin Pate from the Rap Institute doing a demo and an open house here at the Rag Company studio, teaching basically wrapping a car. He's got him and 4 installers, and you can come hang out. Watch some dudes wrap a car, ask some questions. You've got one of the greats for vehicle wrapping.
And some local pros
and some local guys that are coming, and we're just going to learn and have fun. And the whole goal of it is, man, I've always wanted to learn how to wrap a car, so why not?
I think it's really cool because people will be able to actually get up and look at how these guys are doing it to see what they're doing up close, and they can ask them questions while they're doing it. So it's a different environment than you'd usually get. This is basically the closest you could get to somebody wrapping a car in a shop, and you're able to ask them questions without them getting super annoyed at you. So,
So it should be fun. I'm excited about that. And then our other favorite French Canadian is flying in on Friday. Our other Quebecois, Mr. Ivan LaCroix.
Oh.
So Ivan will be here.
People have been wanting him back on the channel for a while. So.
Ivan LaCroix. Yep. Ivan LaCroix. I remember how to say it.
When I hang out
sometimes
with...
you say Yvonne, sometimes you say Ivan. I say Ivan.
When I hang out with Ivan LaCroix, I often like to drink a LaCroix sparkling water around him.
You do. Yeah.
And he'll usually comment on that.
Yeah.
I say I'm drinking your last name. How does that feel, Ivan?
He goes, I bet it tastes like pineapples.
It actually, it's like more of like a crayon raz is typically what it is.
This podcast is goofy today.
It's getting weird.
Yeah.
Sorry,
anyway,
I'm drinking sugared
Ivan's...
Coke. You know how I get when I drink sugared Coca-Cola, Dane.
So Ivan is going to be here for an entire week. He flies in on a Monday and flies out on Friday. So we're going to be doing a ton of new videos for everybody. And so you can look forward to that.
We're going to be swamped with videos. We're going to have so many videos shot. It's going to take
Tim,
a while
we can just
to
hear
produce.
Tim on the other side of the wall crying.
like, are we going to hang
heard a teardrop.
We're like, is he lighting a cigarette over there? Is he? He's starting.
I hear him moaning. I hear him moaning in my headphones. He's crying.
He's like, I need to de-stress before this happens.
Sorry, Tim.
So, so we got that. So this is a big pile of stuff.
Yeah.
On top of all our SEMA prep stuff.
And then there's that.
Which we got done building our booth. We assembled our booth as a dry run.
Yeah.
This last Friday, and it was
spoiler alert, it's
heavy.
A lot bigger than last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we got it up.
Bigger is better. I'm going to have to agree with you guys on this one.
So, let's just say we there was a lot of hands on it.
You know what, though? What's really important about that? We're going to have good neighbors.
We're going to have great neighbors.
We're going to be surrounded by good people.
So what's exciting about that? So what's exciting is we're going to have MTM. We'll have MTM Hydro next door to us.
Yep. Yes, which we will, because if you guys didn't know, we are now a distributor for MTM Hydro. Yep. We are selling their Magnum foam cannon kit, which comes with the PF22 and the SGS28 foam gun. So basically, you'll get the shorty stub handle along with the gold standard of what foam cannons are. So now that we're working with them, it's going to make our SEMA experience so much more fun.
Yeah, because we're literally going to be next to each other at SEMA in the Performance Pavilion, which is super awesome. And then behind us, directly behind us, is going to be Color Lock USA and UK. So our buddy Ram and our buddy Lars are going to be running that booth. Nice. And then next to them is Lake Country Manufacturing. So David Patterson and the gang will be there with some foam. And we'll have MTM making some foam. And it's going to be fun.
People will actually see us this year.
Yeah.
We'll be visible.
Yeah,
so that's
it should be rad. So we're excited. This is going to be a good SEMA for us. We're really looking forward to it.
It's going to be crazy.
But yeah, so we've got all that coming up. And then right before SEMA, a week before we leave for SEMA, here in Boise at the Rag Company, October 13th, we're going to have Bob Phillips from PNS, Dave Phillips from PNS, the chemist. We're going to have Mr. Rennie Doyle himself and Bob Eichelberg of Flex USA. All four of them.
That's a packed house.
Here at the Rag Company.
Do you know how much they would charge you?
Saturday open house.
You know how much they would charge you if that was just one of them, and we're giving you four for free?
For free. You guys can come down. So those of you that are in the surrounding states, this is your chance to literally hang out with Bob and Dave and talk to them.
Yeah.
You can talk to Dave all you want about Beatmaker.
You can ask him the most technical questions about Beatmaker imaginable, and he'll actually, if it's possible to have an answer, he'll have an answer.
He'll give you the kosher response that doesn't, tell all his tips and tricks, but most of it.
But then you get to hang out with them. You get to meet Rennie, talk to Rennie, and you get to meet Bob Eichelberg of Flex North America, president.
You guys got to meet Bob. Bob's a freaking hoot, man. Bob's like,
you see him and you're like, okay, I think I know what kind of guy this guy is, and then you meet him and he's like so much funnier than I expected him to listen.
You just need to talk to Bob and just have like a straight up conversation and just wait for him to tell a joke.
There's a gem,
and you'll like look and be like, "Did you just say that?" And he's just
you
like,
don't expect it.
He's like, "Yes, I did." So Bob's hilarious too. I think all four of those guys are a total hoot. They're fun. Everything has like synergy between all of them because they're again these are all sponsors of Air Force One, as well as
Detail
Mafia and Rennie's detailing success classes and all of that. And so it's gonna be a good time.
It'll be fun. So we'll have flex machines for people to play with. And then, again, like we said, you can hang out and talk to Dave and talk to Bob.
Are they bringing the battery-powered flexes?
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. You guys are in for a treat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be fun. We're going to have that open house. So that's October 13th, I think, Saturday. October 13th here at the Rag Company. So plan ahead.
We'll make that an
You can
event
come
on
up.
the Facebook page so people can have like a running
We'll probably
reminder.
start it next week so that way everybody knows that it's coming up, and we'll push the heck out of it. So we'd love to get a good group here for that because they're, Bob's coming from Omaha. I mean, Bob and Dave are coming from California. So is Rennie. So.
If you're not in Idaho, but you're in a
Utah,
border area of a
Washington,
neighboring
Oregon,
state,
Montana,
come on down. It'll be worth it.
Yeah, Northern California, come on over. I mean, it's going to be a fun event just to have everybody here. And again, like we said, guys, it's free. That's why we do this stuff. Is we want to educate you and grow you and hopefully
come hang out, and then so we'll see if Jeff decides to drink some punch that morning, look a little crazy, and give you guys a killer deal on towels and stuff inside the store. Because typically, what we'll do, he'll always surprise everybody that comes out, especially people that travel, with some great discount for people wanting to buy things in the store, and that's from towels to products to
make it
shirts.
Worth your while.
Makes it's worth the drive. And I think anybody that's come to our clinics before can agree on that. And there's relatively cheap hotels around the area, so if you want to go crash at a hotel,
and if you want, it's on a Saturday, so make a weekend out of it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's Boise, it's not NYC or LA or something.
No, but it's a Boise's nice.
Place
it's fun
to be able to go. So
come hang out. Go. You ever want to rock climbing or bring your bikes? Go to a bike park. Go to. There's
lots of stuff you can do. It's going to be fun. But again, like we said, it's mostly we do this stuff because we want to educate everybody, and we want to make you guys better detailers. We want to make you better enthusiasts. We want to make you just better all
consumers.
Better consumers. You're more educated when you can do that. You know the product, or you get to test or demo the product, or talk to the owner of the company, or talk to the lead chemist.
That's as important as the education that lets you make educated decisions.
Exactly. Yeah. So that'll be cool. And again, going on that education topic, we are now Founders Club members of the IDA. Yay! Huzzah! So, we got invited to be part of the Founders Club, and this goes out to some of the, those that are really focused on wanting to grow the industry, educate the industry, and try and make it a better place for everybody.
Yeah. So, for people that don't know, the International Detailing Association, the IDA, that is the biggest governing body of, governing quote unquote,
it's the closest we have for detailing.
For detailing. I mean, it's it's the only basically sanctioned, I guess I don't know, association that basically puts out education consistently, certifications,
skills validation,
classes, trainers, seminars, phone calls, you name it, and just having access to some of the most educated and most renowned people in the industry. I mean, being able to email Jason Rose, being able to email Mike Phillips, you name it. Well, the IDA gives you that access, which
and
is
the beauty of the Founders Club is the Founders Club has some of the major manufacturers of all the different companies on it. So you've got Rupes, you've got Flex, you've got Lake Country, you've got now us, the Rag Company. Yeah. You've got Prentice St. Clair and his excellence in training. You've got Keith Duplessis, the Detail Plus. You've got Rennie Doyle. Yep. You've got Ivan LaCroix of Optimum Polymer Technologies. You've got list goes on and on.
I think there's a few more for sure.
There's about 10 members of the Founders Club. But the goal is that you've got Rupes and Flex working together to better detailers and better training for detailers. You've got chemical companies like PNS. Oh, PNS is also a Founders Club member. Yeah. Optimum. You've got Lake Country Manufacturing. You've got all these companies working together to push to better detailers. Oh, Simonize is a Founders Club member. So there's all these, the main chemical companies and product companies and tool companies, all trying to grow the industry for you, the detailer. Yeah. Not for themselves.
And the other thing about it, where one of the first things you hear people say when they find that they give out certifications and this sort of thing, a certification doesn't say you're the best detailer ever. What it says is you have a fundamental set of skills and you've shown, proficiency in them, and you've shown that you're capable of doing the basic things that a detailer should be able to do and should be able to know.
Yeah, and there's standards in which you uphold.
And that's what it's all about, is setting standards, because there's some industries that are just like a total Wild West, and having some standards in place at least gives consumers and customers of detailers and products, that sort of thing, gives them a way to look and go, okay, that's a baseline. I can at least trust that, something coming from here has a fundamental understanding of what it is that they're talking about.
Well, and there's and there's always that detailer that goes, I got trained in the School of Hard Knocks.
There are a lot of
I don't need to be certified.
Came out of the womb with a rotary.
I don't need to be a member of an association. It's a very
prideful, stubborn
way
of going about it.
The point of it is, they go, well, how's it going to make me more money?
Right.
Well,
by itself, that paper on your wall is not going to do anything.
No.
Because if that's what you're looking at it to do for you, no.
You're in it for the wrong game. Yeah. Now, what it does do, and what I've told other detailers here locally when I became a member of the IDA, they said, why'd you do that?
And I said, did it long before you were ever here.
Yep. And I said, because I care about it, because, those of you that don't know me, I only have a high school diploma. I mean, that's it.
Same here, man.
Yeah. I don't have a college degree.
Nope.
Right? And so for me, detailing is all I've ever done for the last 20 years. So is there anything that I can get that shows that I've spent 20 years of my life in an industry that could be recognized? Well, a certification would be great. It shows that I'm a certified detailer. So I paid for my monthly membership or my yearly membership, and then I paid to take the test. And I studied for the test because I was worried about it. I was like, what happens if I fail it? Like, what's that going to mean?
If you detail, chances are you can
right.
make it.
But I took the test. And when I got that, and I got that patch, and I got that plaque that I could put on my wall, I was very excited about it. And what it meant was that I had taken that standard. I uphold that standard, and my shop upholds that standard. And then I would educate my customers on that.
As to what that means.
Yep. And they'd see it, and they'd go, oh, that's cool. Wow, really great. Or they'd see IDA member. And what it meant was, as I became more and more looked at as a company, and they were going around doing price checks on other detailers, I'd put that into my spiel when I would sell to the customer. We're also an IDA member, an International Detailing Association member, and me and my assistant manager, Matt Ward, we are certified detailers through the IDA, which means that we uphold these standards.
And by virtue of pointing that out, you've now shown that the other places that don't have it, that causes a question in the customer's mind as to, that seems like a good idea.
Well, and I explained it also. Like, I had a guy come when I just bought my house. Mm-hmm. And the first guy I had when I first bought my first house, they said, I got a guy that can do your home inspection. And I was like, okay, cool. And he's like, does it for like $100. I was like, okay, cool. I wasn't smart, right? I wasn't educated. I didn't know, right? So I'm like, all right, cool. Good. So the guy had his buddy come do the inspection.
Yeah.
Right? The guy didn't check any of the tubs.
Ooh, that's right.
So he fills up the bathtub. Doesn't fill up the bathtub, actually. He doesn't fill it up. He doesn't even check it.
Oh, he didn't even turn the faucet
He turned the faucet on to see if water came out. He's like, yep, it gets hot and cold, turned it off, but didn't fill the bathtub up to see if it held water. So let the water run out. Was called a good, walked around, checked the other stuff, left, gave the inspection to the guy, my realtor, and he's like, here you go. So I'm looking at it. Our first day we move in. We buy the house, we move in. My wife goes up to take a shower. The drain wasn't connected to the tub.
Oh, Lordy.
So as she's taking a shower, my dad and I are moving in a couch, and there's water pouring from the ceiling.
It's like that scene in Breaking Bad.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So I'm like, oh, my gosh. I run upstairs.
Carly's about to come through.
Yeah. I tell her, like, ceiling. It's soaking all the sheetrock underneath.
Yeah.
Right? So I run up and tell her, like, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off. She's like, why? I was like, because there's water falling from the ceiling downstairs. So we have to file an insurance claim.
Because that is not
the
cheap
first
to
day
fix,
we live in our house.
Which doesn't look great.
Well, we called our insurance company and was like, can we even do this? Like,
yeah.
They're like, what? And then we go back in the inspection, and there's never anything that said he filled up the tub. So then I call him and go, did you fill up the tub? He's like, well, I don't have to. I was like, why? He's like, well, because it's not required in the state of Idaho to do any of that stuff. And I said, but it's required by a homeowner, by this, home inspection association that you do that. And he goes, I'm not a member of that association.
Oh, okay.
He goes, I'm a member of the Better Business Bureau. And I said, fine, then I'm going to file a claim against you on the Better Business Bureau. You didn't do your due diligence as an inspector. And so bottom line is, my next house that I just purchased in May, the guy rolled up. I said, I want to make sure I've got a guy that knows what he's doing. And my guy knew my previous story, was one of my friends who was like, why didn't you use me? I could have brought you another guy that's really good. This guy rolls up. He comes in his van, on his uniform, on himself. He's got patches for the association that he belongs to, which is a home inspection association. He's got the logo on his van that says how long they've been members of. He runs through and educates me on the standards and practices of that association.
Chances are you got a good one when they
right before he does my thing. And I said, all right, if you don't mind, I'm going to follow you around. And he said, yeah, not a problem. Goes through, shows me everything, fills up every single one of my tubs, and fills them all up to the top, basically, up to the level line, and then turns them off and lets them sit with the valves closed, and then drains everything, and then proceeds to climb under the house to make sure nothing was leaking under there. And I was like, thank you. Thank you for doing that. Now, going back to detailing, do you want somebody who doesn't have the certifications, the skills validation, or even the knowledge to be part of a membership organization that practices these things, that benefits you as a detailer? Do you want a guy without that, or do you want a guy with that is educated, that knows the newest techniques, knows the companies, has access to this information? As far as I'm concerned, that's what I want.
Yeah.
Has a certified standard.
Yeah, because it makes sense. So, long story short, we are committed to the IDA.
Yep.
We are committed to educating detailers through our podcast, through our videos, through our YouTube channel, and through our everyday online sales and our products. We truly want to make you guys better detailers, and that's why we're here. Anthony, how long do you spend on a day on the phone helping customers?
That's going to be about 2 to 3 hours, Bob.
Yeah. So, Dane?
Oh, plenty.
Online, Reddit,
plenty. When
Facebook?
I'm answering comments, Reddit, Facebook,
emails.
Even Instagram sometimes, even though it's more your role, just occasionally on that, but all over. Usually if it's a digital, kind of conversation, that's usually where it's taking place. Even phone calls, though, too.
Yeah.
I take them, too. It's just the way it works.
It's a lot of hours. We went through one day and figured out
that's part of the job, but
Yeah.
we also have many other things that our job titles actually cover, which is like
it's like our actual work that we have to do.
Video production, in my case, editing, all that. So
bottom line is we're here to help.
Yeah.
And the IDA has recognized that in us and offered us that Founders Club status, which is really, it means a lot. And as an IDA member that has been a member for a long time and someone who truly believes in the IDA, it is a stepping stone, a mark of excellence. It means that we're doing a good job in what we're doing. Mm-hmm. And that means a lot to me. And I know there are a ton of detailers who don't care. And if you don't care, that's fine. But
you're not going to change their minds.
The fact of the matter remains, the last 10 years that the IDA has been around, that has been trying to push this, the IDA is growing.
Right.
And the amount of members that are coming on every year is staggering. Yeah. It's amazing how many people are wanting to join the IDA and are joining the IDA and taking the CDs and the SVs. And as I'm a co-chair on the certification committee, and that means my group is tasked with developing those tests. And it means a lot.
So there's a lot of thought that goes into it. In case you're wondering how qualified Levi is to teach you guys things, he's pretty qualified.
Well, I am a recognized trainer in the IDA, so
just want to throw that out there.
Yeah. So anyway, we're really excited, super stoked to be part of the Founders Club. We're very excited just to be able to push this forward and go forward with the IDA, and We're just stoked. It's going to be rad.
Heck yeah, we are.
Yeah. Well,
now we just need to get Dane his CD and
right.
you your SV.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So. You guys detail fairly regularly. Me, I understand the fundamental concepts, and I can definitely pass a test knowing those concepts.
Well, and that's
when it
something
comes
that
to the actual hands-on stuff, I'm obviously not as.
But that's something that we want to do with you.
Yeah.
And something we want to do for the company is anybody that you're going to call here, that you're going to talk to, we want to get you certified. That we want to get our employees certified. So that way,
the reason I know half of what I do is because I watch you guys when I'm filming, and
but this way that you know the standards of detailing.
Right.
You know you've taken the test. You know the answers to that, and you can hold your own with others when answering those questions.
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
Every other company that's part of the Founders Club are doing that with their sales staff, with their technical guys, their customer service folks are getting. They're members of the IDA, and they're getting tested and certified, mostly so that they can actually, practice what they preach. They can explain, they can understand based on these standards.
Because based on your story, the thing that it made me think about was it's perfectly fine to try and come up with more efficient ways to do things, your little detailing hacks, figure stuff out. And especially, Optimum Ivan preaches efficiency all the time and knowing when to do something or when not to do something, more importantly in cases. But on your story, the big thing is there's a difference between being efficient and doing, little tricks and stuff and just cutting corners, which is what happens a lot. And that's why the, standardization of a body like this is meant to do is to show these people have a core set of values, a core set of, just knowledge that they pull from, and they're not going to cut those corners.
Well, and for instance, there's a group here locally that is a family of dealers that are car dealer guys. They detail themselves out of their own place, and they've been doing it for about 30 years.
Yeah.
And they cut a lot of corners. And these are the guys that take silicone tire dressing, the blue stuff.
Yeah.
They soak the tires in it. They soak the engine bay in it. They soak the dashboard and door panels in it.
It's clean and shiny,
I don't see anything wrong with that. It's like spraying WD-40 on your interior plastic panels, right?
And then lighting a match, right?
Is that not okay?
Yeah, no, it's highly flammable. And
very
half
dangerous.
the cars that they do this to, have a lot of running issues.
The exhaust and
They have a lot of issues.
Yeah.
But they do this because for them, it's the old school tactic of hiding all the damage, hiding all the dirt, hiding all the gross stuff.
Which how often you hear people complain, fillers.
They give
detailers
a bad name because as detailers, we are there to clean and protect. These guys are just pouring Crisco oil all over everything and going, look, it's shiny. If they could if you could walk in tomorrow and tell them you could spray the car down with silicone, you don't have to buff it anymore, they would do that as well.
Hey, time saver, efficiency.
Woo! And they'd be like, done, cool. And if people were like, wow, it looks amazing, they'd be like, yeah, let's do this on everything.
And this is why we need standards.
But this is why, because even today,
I don't trust makeup.
I realize some people.
But even today, there are detailers that don't watch YouTube.
Oh.
Yeah. They don't listen to podcasts. They don't, get online. They only buy from one guy that shows up in a truck.
Yeah.
And that's not the worst thing ever if you're doing a good job.
Yeah, or they just go to Walmart and pick out what's in the aisle, and they don't know the difference between anything.
What's new? Walmart
and in
aisle,
fairness,
right?
So I will say, playing devil's advocate, there is some good stuff you can pick up on the store shelves.
There is. But there is also an education that goes with it. And the IDA provides that education, and that's something that's awesome. So
true.
Anyway, going forward, weekends. What did you guys do?
Woo! I don't know. That was pretty fascinating. I think some people will have some opinions. I'd love to hear them weigh in the comments.
Yeah, do.
All Dane, what'd you do, man?
What'd you do this weekend, Dane? I'm gonna guess. Hold on, let me guess.
Who?
He worked here.
Oh, great segue.
Is he right?
I finished a video yesterday.
You did.
Oh, but you weren't scheduled to work.
No, I worked on Labor Day, but that was by choice because we were actually working on Labor Day, but that was for volunteers only.
The store was open.
Something we don't make people do.
Team
that.
got some
they
money.
Volunteered, and you got holiday pay.
Got holiday pay. So
it's a plus. It's a, if you want to do it, you want to do it.
Dane wanted to get that holiday pay.
Didn't get that money.
doesn't make a difference for me.
Yeah, I get that.
It's basically anyway. As far as that goes, I got a video done though, and I think it's one that a lot of people will appreciate based on the numbers I was seeing after an hour of releasing it. Taken off pretty quick. It was basically about drying towels. You remember you guys did that. And what we did was, once again, I really like to stress with these videos that we're doing, these list videos, I think they're really good at capturing people's attention quickly and then getting them some information, then getting out. And I can use it as a great opportunity to recycle Wash Wednesday footage because it's fun.
Yeah.
But basically, this one was about the different types of weaves of drying towels, specifically microfiber, because there's still some people out there using chamois and bath towels.
Yeah, there are. There's a lot.
You should not be doing that. I realize that sounds like,
it's more efficient.
A little bit of bias
keep doing it.
coming from somebody who works at the rag company.
Yeah, no, you can keep doing it. It's just not efficient, you're wasting time.
You're abusing your paint.
Yeah, that too. But
so basically, this video just knocks out the different kinds of weaves that are available. And what I wanted to point out was these are fairly general things. These are things you can apply no matter where you're buying your microfiber towels from. There are going to be terry weaves. There are going to be twist loops. There are going to be waffle weaves, that sort of stuff. You're going to find that some places. Obviously, with our stuff, I show our stuff in the videos because, hey, it's us. But I want to educate people. So I want it to be a good general knowledge people can pull from, and it gives them some basic knowledge they can take with them. So wherever they're getting it from, at least they'll remember they got the info from us, hopefully.
Yeah.
And that's the way I want to approach it, because for me, ever since the beginning here working at the rag company, I've always been about, transparency and just really putting it out there and being really clear to people, like, this is the stuff. I hope you appreciate this information. Whatever you do with it, I'm just glad I'm able to share it with you, that I have this knowledge and I want to share it with you guys.
Yeah.
So that's how we approach a lot of our stuff. But basically just talking about the different weaves and why you might gravitate towards one or the other in this particular case. Because a lot of people get confused with just all the options out there. They see a million different towels and they don't know why they should pick one over the other. So that's why we do the more generalized terms, looking at waffle weaves in general and that kind of thing, and talking about why you might choose one versus the other.
Yeah.
So once again, it's all personal preference, and this is something we always stress to people, is no matter how many times you ask us what the best towel is, our question is going to be, well, what are you doing with it?
Yep.
And that's where you have to come from every time as well. Depending on your situation, the best is going to differ. It's not just a one-size-fits-all kind of thing.
Yeah,
Everybody
exactly.
looks at stuff and treats it like it has to be a math equation. This plus this equals this. Well, it's not always the case.
Yeah.
So that's how we want to approach these things. And really, I read a write-up that Dylan did about Bead Maker over the weekend on Facebook that was really great. And
great, yeah,
his
write-up,
talking about the whole people treating detailing like a math equation, like this plus this equals this. So that's the only way it'll ever happen. Ever. End of story.
Yeah.
And just basically trying to point out to people that I don't want to scare you with the complexities of this, but it's more of a shades of gray kind of thing. So. The results will differ based on your environment, all that kind of stuff. I'm going off on a tangent, but Anthony gets what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
that's
so
what
we're
I did
making
this
our
weekend.
stuff simple.
So,
picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah. So what else did you do? It was 3-day weekend. You spent all 3 days here.
No, I went for a drive.
Okay.
Hung out. I'd take the Miata out, have some fun.
Nice.
Went out in the Volvo,
that's your girlfriend,
and when we also had. My mom's birthday. We celebrated with her.
Was it Carolyn's birthday?
Yeah, and Jeff's is on Monday. Next Monday.
It was low key.
I feel bad. I need to go
tell her.
No, we ended up eating at an Asian fusion place. Had some fun appetizers.
How many Asians did they fuse together to make this place?
Well, conversation
was it
derailer.
Chinese and Japanese? Was it
Yes.
Vietnamese and Korean?
Yes.
How many bodies?
All of the above. Oh my
Was it a
God.
human centipede?
Wow, this is dark.
getting
This is
weird.
really dark. Okay.
Anyways, so you did that.
Basically,
So you guys
great food.
took your mom out for
Then
Asian
went,
food?
and she really wanted to go see Mission Impossible, so we went
Nice.
and watched
Yeah,
that.
it's good stuff.
Had a
I
lot of
saw it.
fun, and had a good time. And Henry Cavill rocking the mustache.
Yeah,
was
you like that?
The big
How-
controversy.
How
you
was
excited?
that? How was that movie?
It was
It's
actually
really good.
fun.
Carly and I went and saw
So-
it a couple weeks ago.
Because I saw there's a motorcycle scene in
Yeah,
the,
it's
in the
good.
E30 inside there, the Dirty 30.
Oh, it's not a 30.
It's not a
It's
30?
a 5 series.
Oh,
Yeah.
is it a 5
28.
series?
Yeah.
It looks
Yeah.
smaller than that
It's
in
a
the
4
in the
or 5
videos.
series. It's pretty dope too.
Really?
Yeah. No, it's
Okay.
it's like a mid-80s.
I thought it was a
5
two. I'd say because I thought it was a 2-door when I first saw it, and I was like, that looks pretty sick in that color.
No, it's cool. It's like an olive drab color kind of. Anyway, I get distracted by details. It was a badass 5 series. But no, there's some good action in it for sure.
It's really good.
And what I appreciate about those movies is whatever you think of Tom Cruise, definitely opinions differ.
He does a lot of his stunts.
He puts everything into those roles.
He does a lot of those stunts.
When he's doing those stunts, you're looking at that helicopter scene, you're like, oh my god,
that one where he jumps out of the helicopter and the cameraman walks backwards and it's one scene. He walks out after him.
It's
really
the camera's walking back and falls out, and he's running with him and falls right on top.
How do they do that to where they're like, we need to do another take?
For people who have seen it, was it just me or the end crazy tumultuous end scene felt like a Charlie Chaplin movie with just the leveling comical insanity of it, layer this and then this and then that happens and then this and then this, and it's just a silly build up, and it is goofy. Don't go into it expecting the most serious thing ever.
Fun.
It's fun though.
It's good. Eat popcorn.
Yeah, you want a good popcorn flick. That does it.
Yeah. So I had a long weekend. I don't know if you want me to go first or
you
if you
can.
No, go for it.
So I had an insanely long weekend. So
all right, good.
Going.
So we'll both share this. So my weekend started on a Saturday morning is when I started doing fun stuff, I guess. So I started the morning, first thing, jumped in the Evo, went for a quick drive, and stopped at the store because I had a task for the day, and that was respraying some undercoating on the Evo. So
nice.
Last time I had the wheels off the car, which was about a week and a half ago.
My undercoating.
I know. So you reminded me of that, and that's why I did it over the weekend. And so, basically, when I pulled off the wheels last time, I noticed that on the rear wheel wells, that the undercoating, right, basically directly in front of the tire and directly behind the tire, had completely worn down. I'm talking, it's
smooth.
12-year-old car. It just, it got all chipped away basically. So the stock undercoating, the OEM stuff, it flaked off. So basically, it was just bare metal, and there was bare metal with spots of undercoating. And I saw that and I was like, holy crap, that undercoating is gone. And I was looking and I'm like, wow, that is bare metal. And unbelievably, there was no rust. I couldn't believe it that there was no rust at all on that car. I still can't believe that to this day, considering I've driven it in the winter, several years.
Sure,
But so I told myself I need to re-undercoat this. So went to the store, picked up some, it was some rust preventative. It's like a gel that you put down first, and then you do the undercoating after that. And so picked up those supplies, plastic drop cloth, tons of masking paper, and I spent 6 times as much time masking everything off than I did actually spraying, because that undercoating, I did a little test spray on my side yard to see what it would be like, and that stuff just shoots, and it splatters, right?
Overspray is a thing.
It splatters for sure. So
not the stuff I had.
So basically what I needed to do was mask everything off to the best of my ability. Yeah. So literally, I spent so much time taping different things, and so I eventually taped it all off, sprayed it, came out freaking perfect. That stuff is rock hard. It's basically like rhino lining.
Yeah.
And I prepped the surface and did all that, as I should have. I cleaned everything off, did power clean, O&R, with a brush, cleaned it all off, wiped it down, then coated it, or then did my gel stuff and then cleaned it up again and then recoated it. So, but while I was under the wheel, though, it was so funny because I'm sitting there looking around because, it's not too often I'm in the wheel well of my car looking around. So I'm kind of looking around and I see this plastic tray with some type of wiring going up. It looked like brake line or looked like something going up into this plastic tray up top. And I'm looking up there, I'm like, never seen that before.
That's your snorkel attachment.
I'm like, what is that, right? So I'm sitting there looking. I'm like, what is that, right? So I kind of start tapping it, and I can hear some rocks rattling around. And I'm like, oh, I can kind of put my hand up inside there. So I put my hand up there and start feeling things, right? I'm like, what's that, right? What are those?
And that's when a spider bit him.
And no, I was initially thinking there's probably a spider up here, but then I started feeling. I'm like, oh, these are giant. What felt like rocks. They're basically sand clumps, that clumped up. Yeah. And there was so much in there. I'm feeling around. I'm like, holy crap. This is like a whole, I'm talking pounds of rocks up inside here.
Whoa.
So that's when I started kind of fidgeting around with it. I went and grabbed a rubber mallet and I kind of started just banging on the damn thing, right? And I started banging on it. And it just started pouring out. I'm talking like straight quicksand pouring out of there. I'm like looking on the ground. My garage is getting covered. It's a pile probably, 3-4 inches high of just rock and dirt coming out of
like
this.
That sounds like the first time I hit the inside of my Miata's fenders because, it's an old car.
Yeah.
There was so much like fine dust and dirt and like leaves and stuff that came out of it. I thought, those are probably 15 years old.
I was sitting there, I'm like, this is 12 years old dirt sitting up inside
think
here.
Think of all the chip sealing you've driven on.
Oh, absolutely. So
gravel gets picked up.
So I started hitting all this stuff out, right? And then I had the smart idea of like, I'm going to go get my air compressor solution package, my all-day Anthony air compressor. Yeah. Pulled that out with the blow started blowing it out, right? Everything's a mess. There's dust going everywhere.
Scratching your paint.
But that's when it started making a real big mess, and everything started landing on the actual suspension components and the brakes and all of that. And so I'm like, crap, I need to blow this stuff out, right? Pro tip, guys, don't ever take a blowgun attachment to your brakes, all right?
Ooh.
I'm talking...
brake dust in your nose?
No, I blew it out. Poof, red. It was just red smoke everywhere, right? Because I'm running these aggressive Frodo DS 2500 brake pads on the Evo, and just literally blows up red smoke. It billowed out of my garage. I'm like, holy crap, right? And my car just got hammered. I had cleaned it the week prior, but it is now covered in brake dust. And I'm like, holy crap, I got to wash that here soon. I got to get that off here. So after I sprayed everything out, I cleaned everything up. I kind of called it a day there. Going into Sunday morning, washed the Evo, got it all cleaned up again, looking pretty. And then I was starting to get ready for the day because I was going to go out and do some price, check out prices for some landscaping stuff, because on Monday I did landscaping stuff, and I wanted to go check out prices, how much sod was going to be, rock, all this stuff. And as I was leaving my house, I hear what sounds to be like a polisher, right? I know a polisher when I hear one, right? And I kind of peek over, and the neighbor next to me, to the left of my house, this is a guy I haven't really talked to a whole lot. I've said very few words to him since he's moved in, and
it's like not a wave.
It's just been a wave. Yeah. We've never formally been introduced, and
he's the president of the All Day Anthony fan club.
And he had been there for so long.
Loves Wash Wednesday.
Like, he had been living there for so long that it was beyond the point of like, hey, how's it going? My name's Anthony. Nice to meet you. Yeah. Like, it's already kind of weird.
You're now into the hey, what's up, man?
So,
we've actively been avoiding each other. I don't know how to start this.
So I didn't really know what to do, but I saw him polishing. Like, I look around the corner, and I see he's got a Porter cable in his hand, a 7424. Yeah. And I'm like, now is my time. This is the time to go in. So I saw that he was waxing. He was actually just applying wax with it on a blue finessing pad onto his. He has a Volkswagen Touareg, a black one. And I walked around. I said, "Hey, are you polishing, waxing?" And he's just like, "Oh, hey, how's it going?" So I walk over there and I say, hey, my name's Anthony, man. I just wanted to let you know, I work for a very large detailing company that specializes in microfiber and yada, yada, yada. And he was like, are you serious? No way. I'm like, yeah, that's why. He's like, I see you washing your cars all the time, and I see you out there, and I've seen you, detailing, but I didn't know that
I just assumed you had a problem.
He's like, I didn't know that's what you did, and I was like, yeah, man, like this is what I do for a living, and I explained to him about what the rag company is, how we have towels and detailing product and all of this, and I said, well, show me what you're using today. Like, what's your plan for the day? And he's like, well, I'm just doing a quick wax on my wife's Touareg before the fall comes. And so he gives me a walk around. He showed me he's using a blue finessing pad on the 7424. I think it's a CCS pad. And then he was using Meguiar's NXT, which is the purple bottle, if you guys ever remember that, which I used for years, and I loved that stuff. That stuff was good stuff. The worst part about it is you hit your trim with it, you're screwed. That stuff turns white immediately.
Yep. Really obviously.
So
that's what your buddy that used to live next door to me, he did that on his truck. It's just white everywhere, and I was like, dude, you're supposed to come in and get some car wax.
But it looked good though. That's the thing though. It's a good looking product once it finishes. It's very old. I don't think they sell it or make it anymore. I think I still have a vintage bottle at my house.
You know it if you see it.
Yeah, you know it if you see it. And so, but I was walking around, and he showed me everything else he had. He had some Meguiar's quick detailer, quick detailing spray, and interior stuff. And then he had a big old bag of Costco microfiber towels. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, hey. But the thing was, I I didn't say, hey, that's bad. I said,
throw
hey,
that in the garbage, you son of a bitch. That's not what you said?
Yeah.
Oh
I'm like, give me those.
Yeah, you take it away.
No shame in that.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So,
we don't mind.
So I told him, I said,
at least he's using microfiber and not cotton.
That's exactly what I said. I said, dude, I'm glad to see you're using microfiber, you're getting familiar with it. And he said, yeah. He's like, these are just, cheap towels, and he's like, I don't know what you guys sell. And that's when I was like, hold on 1 second. I'm gonna go get you some stuff, right? I'm gonna go next door and grab you some things. So I went next door. I grabbed some of what we had was known as our standard waffle weave towels, which were a white and black overlock stitch edge. I had a couple of those lying around, so I stacked a couple of those up. Did a couple eagle edgeless, one in blue, one in gray. I did an FTW glass towel. I did 2 blue edgeless 365s. I did what else did I do? I threw something else in there. I threw one of the first twistresses that we had, just towels that I'd used, and I was going to tell them that I've used these towels, but I mean, they're still great towels. So gave them a big old stack, went into my cabinet there, grabbed a couple random detailing demo products that I had. I grabbed some Sonax polymer spray sealant, grabbed some other stuff that I'd gotten in a glove box previously. And I'm like, well, he's going to try some different stuff out, right? And I filled up a little bottle of bead maker into a little, I don't know, little glasses spray bottle, and I filled some of that up.
At least you didn't put it in a water bottle.
I know. Staying quiet. So I went over and gave that to him, and he was just jazzed. He couldn't believe it. He was like, oh my gosh, these are towels. And it was his first time ever seeing an ultra plush towel, right? So the first time he's ever felt an eagle, his mind, like I saw his eyes, like he was looking at me like, this is the real, like this is real, like this is the real deal.
Exist.
And he's like, and you're giving these to me? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, are you sure? I'm like, dude,
do I owe you money?
I'm like, dude, I got so many towels. Like, I'm telling you, I'm lucky that
Katie's going to be happy that I'm getting rid of some of them.
Well, I'm lucky that Katie didn't come out, because if Katie came out, she would have been like, here, let me get you some more. And she would have given him a big old box. And there would have been anything I could have said. Yeah. So basically, I'm like, here, just take these, enjoy, let me know what you think. So that was kind of it for that day. My Sunday was just kind of spent doing some pricing. And then Monday morning, this is when the real story starts. So landscaping, guys, for people that don't know, my first job was at one of my first jobs was at Lowe's. Worked in the lawn and garden section of Lowe's. 4.5 years I worked there, right?
Champion.
Do you know what I learned there? Not a lot, all right? I learned how to read instructions. I learned how to read a brochure. I worked in the lawn and garden section, right? And I could sell things, right? I that was one of my good abilities, but I was not interested in that, right?
Yeah.
Being an 18, 19, 20-year-old kid, I don't care about this. I don't own a home. I will never care about this, right? In my head, I think that, right? I cared about driving.
When you bought crazy sprinkler heads.
I cared about driving the forklift. I cared about doing donuts, and I cared about lifting rocks, looking cool, rocks, right? Wearing backwards hats, working at Lowe's. That's what I cared about. So, anyway, with that said, I didn't really remember all of my knowledge, but Katie tasked me with finishing our side yard, and so we have. We have a side yard. I've explained this before, the way my house is set up. It's an alley load home, so meaning the alley is in the back along with the driveway, which means the houses, unfortunately, are just closer together, right? It's probably a 20-foot gap, 30-foot gap in between each house.
It's a planned community.
It's just a planned community, right? And so basically we have a side yard, which is shared with the other side yard, and we gated ours off. We put a fence there, and we ended up concreting most of that side yard, which made a really nice patio area that's more than plenty enough room for us. Yeah. However, we had an area where the dogs still had some grass to where they can go to the bathroom and they can still hang out. However, that area of grass, because of the way those houses are planned out and the way the sun, there's no sun there. So basically, it's constant shade, and it turns into a swamp with dogs going potty out there, with water runoff from the front lawn. It just becomes just a swamp, and you can't walk out there because it's so
put concrete out
nasty.
There, though.
So we concreted most of it, but the area that still had grass left, we needed to fix. So what I ended up doing was plotting this out to where I went and borrowed my dad's truck because I needed to go run, and I need to get bulk rock, basically, because we're going to be rocking a large portion of that, and then laying new sod down in one particular area. So this is where I need a truck, right?
Yep.
And this is where I hate borrowing people's trucks and I hate borrowing people's stuff. But
Been looking at little S10s for you.
This is how it works. So I went, and just to give people an idea, always buy in bulk if you can, because I went to Home Depot. I priced it out for I think 1 cubic foot of
bag.
rock. It was $7. I ended up getting what would they call a yard, which is basically a bed load full of rock. I ended up getting that for $50.
Yeah.
And so huge difference.
It's like a 6x8 or something like that.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. So basically what I ended up doing is I borrowed my dad's truck. He has 2 trucks. He has a work truck, and then he has his nice truck. His work truck is because he owns a window cleaning business, was full of window stuff from the previous day. So I'm like, I'll take his nice truck and I'll just be careful. So I brought tarps. I brought everything I needed, right? I drive to this rock yard. I'm pulling in, and I'm like, okay, it's a little dirty, a little dusty out here, right? I'll probably have to give the truck a wash. Not a big deal, right? And so
they broke the back
that's
window.
When no, thank God.
Headache rack.
Rear shocks are blown out.
So that's when the guy's like, all right, so yeah, you're gonna pull behind that truck right there, and you'll pick up your rock. So I go up there, I hand him my receipt. The guy's like, okay, cool, pull up there and wait 1 second. I'm looking at the truck in front of me, and I see the backhoe, pick up the big old rock, right? Bring it over, go up to this truck, and I'm like, okay, looking good so far. And then he just drops it, right?
Yeah.
I see about half that rock land on the paint of this truck, right? bounce off of literally everything, and my stomach just sank, right? And I'm like, that can't happen on this truck. No.
My dad's gonna kill me.
I'm like, but I'm in line now. There's people behind me waiting to get their load of rock. I don't know what to do. So I'm sitting there freaking out, like, what do? Because like this is a nice Toyota Tundra. I cannot do this.
Does the truck have a bed liner in it?
So it did. It did have rhino liner in it, but I wasn't worried about the inside of the bed. I was worried about the outside.
Nail it.
So I just grabbed the tarp, and I'm like, screw the bed liner's fine, the bed's fine. I need to cover all of these sides of the paint, right? So I grabbed the tarp, I laid it over the paint, and then, he drops the load of rock in. So basically what I have is I have half the rock sitting on a tarp, half the rock sitting off the tarp on the bed liner, whatever, right? I took it. Picked up my sod there at the same place. I got 77 square feet worth of sod for $22.
Nice.
Which,
better.
Freaking A, that's a great deal, and I was pretty happy about that. So I went back home, started in on the project. Took me most of the day. What I ended up having to do was dig up the first layer of old dirt and sod, which had been molded and corroded, and it was nasty, and I ended up pulling that out. Did about 8 wheelbarrow loads full of dirt, and then dumped it into we have a field in front of our house, fortunately. So I was just running.
It's a nice thing about having a construction yard around the corner,
dumping and running, dude. So I just did that, got it all out.
Crews will deal with it.
And what I had to do following that is I grabbed paint, spray paint, like a orange tape or paint, however you would say it, to where I masked off my lines. I marked off all my areas, dug one area for rock or 2 different areas for rock. Basically ended up doing a very light topical amount of what's it called, ground clear. Then went back over it with paver sand. After the paver sand, went over it with 2-ply. I did 2 separate applications of a weed barrier, then rocked it, then did a separator edging. And I did all this, no instructions, I just did this off of what I kind of remembered. Didn't watch any video. Turned out awesome. I was super happy with it. Rolled out the sod, cut the sod. I mean, the yard looks awesome. I was really happy. Katie was like, how did you do this? How did you know how to do this? And how did you do this in a day? And I'm like, I'm not sure, but my body hurts. You couldn't pay me all the money in the world to do this. This is not something I'm interested in doing, and I probably don't want to do this again for a long time. But I'm happy that you're happy, and she was happy. My problem going forward from there is that at 7:45 at night, I have a truck with still a decent amount of rock in it, and I need to get the rock out, and I need to clean the truck. I end up pulling the truck out into a field, right? Grabbing a broom, and I try to sweep the rock out. Not working out for me right there, all right? The rock was sharp and jagged and kept grabbing onto the bed liner, and it wasn't pulling out properly, and I was like, crap. So I tried sweeping most of it out, and what I come to find is that, guys, I'm not a truck person. Let me just point that out. This is not that I'm learning. I learn every day on certain things. What I noticed is that You have your bed, and then you have your tailgate.
Yeah.
All that rock and sand got between that crevice on the tailgate and that. So I noticed that was in there. I'm like, okay, crap. So do I lift this up and kind of try to sweep it out? What do I do? So I end up lifting it up, and a lot of these rocks fell down below onto the actual bumper. And I'm like, oh, crap, right? So I go to set the tailgate back down, and I hear
all the rock underneath.
And I'm like, oh. And I was sitting there, I'm like, no. And I lift it up, and I see all these scuffs on the bottom of the tailgate, and I'm like, oh my God, right? I'm like, so I'm sitting there, me being the detailer in my head is, how deep are these? How far do I have to go to sand these out? I can
fix those.
How far do I have to go? Did anything get through the paint? Luckily, everything was just in the clear, and I'm like, okay.
But the sun's going down. Right? This is in the evening.
Yeah, so I can fix this. But what I need to do is I need to just set this down, drove back to my house, grabbed my hose with my pressure attachment on there. I ended up basically blowing most of it out, grabbed Katie, helped me pull the tailgate off, right? That was my smartest decision, just taking the tailgate off. Pull that off, set that in the grass, sprayed out all the rock, and then sun's going down, guys, and I'm like, you know what? I have to clean this truck. My dad will never let me borrow this truck again because my dad's very understanding, but it's one thing if I borrow a truck because he didn't know I borrowed the truck. He was out hunting, right?
Oh.
And he came back that evening, and he's like, "Where's my truck?" And he's like, "I'm like, hey, Dad, I'm just borrowing it for this." He's like, oh, "Okay, that's good." He's like, "Yeah, is it dirty?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got pretty dirty." He's like, "Okay, we'll just give it a quick wipe down, make sure it's because I have to take it to work tomorrow." He's really understanding, but the thing is I want to always be able to borrow my parents' things. I want to always be able to feel comfortable doing that, and I want him to know that he can trust me borrowing things, knowing that it's going to come back better than what he...
My dad loaned me his 67 Chevy pickup that is oxidized and is his dirty beater truck. Dane got to drive it in the parking lot.
Yeah.
But I gave it back to him with a fresh O&R bath on it, and I cleaned all the windows and wiped down the dash, even though he still had a bunch of stuff on the floor and on the seat. At least it was cleaner. And when he got it, he was like, you didn't need to wash. This is the one truck you don't need to wash. And I was like, yeah, but you told me every time I borrow one of your cars, I got to wash it. So.
Always do. So I always make sure to fill up the gas when I'm done with it, and always give it a wash, right, and make it look better than what it came to me as. So I look at Katie. I'm like, I need several things. Go grab me my buckets. I need this soap. I need this towel. I need these multiple towels, and I need this special orange bottle called Bead Maker. Go and grab it, right? So she runs in, grabs it. She's like, okay. She's like, do you need anything else from me? And I'm like,
just a couple kisses.
Yeah. For luck. I'm like, I need water because this has been a long day. So I start the wash and I start busting, guys. I'm moving extremely fast. Cleaning everything up. I was using the Cyclone 10X. I used Optimum Car Wash mixed with, I believe it was called X Foam, which is made by, I can't remember the exact brand, but it came in one of my glove box packages. It was a little tester. It's called X Foam is what it was. Really sudsy bath. Gave it a really big sudsy bath. Cleaned everything up. Sprayed it down. Dried everything off. Cleaned the wheels. Cleaned the wheel arches. All-purpose cleaner. Power clean. Tires. Did all of that. Bead Maker the entire truck. Truck looked awesome. Dressed the tires, dressed the trim, dressed the top of the bed liner, dressed all of that. And then what I needed to do was, since I had the tailgate off, right, I went to pick up the tailgate, and I noticed all of this clinking inside the tailgate, all of the rocks.
Here we go
and I'm
again.
like, crap. The sun is literally almost down at this point. I mean, I have nothing left. And I went and got my Torx bit screwdriver. I popped off this panel off the tailgate, right? Pulled that off. I pick up the whole tailgate. I'm shaking it. All these rocks are falling down on me because that's the only way to get them all out. There's no other way to do it.
Over your head and just
shook it out, grabbed the shop vac, sucked up everything else that I missed, got everything off there, put the thing back on, flipped the tailgate back over, and just in the grass there, gave it a quick O&R wash, grabbed the quick little piece of clay and some O&R lube I had, clayed it really quick, grabbed my Porter cable along with my 3-inch microfiber cutting pad for the Lake Country cutting pad, and then my orange foam cutting pad, right? And I did a 2-step on there with the last cut, got all those little mini scratches out, got everything looking good again. Tailgate looked awesome. Put the thing back on, closed it up. Drove it back to my dad's, filled it up with some gas, and right when I dropped it off, they're like, "Well, how'd the job go?" I'm like, "Job went great. I cleaned up the truck. Everything went awesome." And he's like, you cleaned up the truck? What'd you do? I'm like, oh, just gave it put a sealant on it and all that. He goes out there and looks at it. He's like, Anthony, you don't have to do that. Oh my gosh, that's overkill. He's like, if it was just a little dirty, go spray it off with a hose and call it. I'm like, no, I just, wanted to make it look good.
I don't want to freak you out, but you didn't see this tailgate.
And he was like, he's looking at it, he's like, oh my God. And he's like, did you wipe down the interior? I'm like, yeah, I did. I wiped down the interior really quick. A little dust came in, so I cleaned the windows, cleaned the panels and all of that.
Yeah, it's incentive for next time to borrow it.
He was just super happy. He's like, thank you for doing that. I'm like, well, thanks for letting me be able to borrow your truck. I'm never going to tell you about the rock incident in the tailgate ever.
He's listening to this right now.
He will. I don't think he will. And so that kind of wrapped up my weekend. Finished that up last night. Looked awesome. Woke up this morning. Now my biggest thing is keeping the dogs off the sod, which is going to be kind of hard because that's where they go. So now I have to take them out in the front yard. But that was that. Needless to say, I'm exhausted. Late last night I ordered, they're called chip cookies, which is chocolate chip cookies delivered
amazing.
Straight to your door.
It's the greatest invention known to mankind, and it's available in Utah and Idaho.
It is, and it's absolutely worth it. It's freaking amazing. The guy that delivered...
They're warm. They show up warm.
When he delivered them, we asked him, like, busy night tonight? He said... Got 136 orders in 1 hour, and he's like, and it's just me and another guy. And then as he's walking away, he's
legit.
like,
that's when you know you got a good business.
They give you four large chocolate chip cookies. About
big. I'm talking.
I mean, they're bigger than this lid. They're about that big.
Thick.
And
too.
they're like that tall.
Oh my God.
So if you can see, there you go. They're about 2 inches thick almost.
Should we see if we can get those at one of our events coming up?
I don't know.
Maybe see if one of our see if
we'll have them on the pod. We'll get some sent to the podcast studio because we can.
What I love is that they only deliver after 8 p.m.
That's
right?
the coolest thing.
And
too.
I'm like,
snacks.
They obviously have targeted an audience of people after 8 p.m. Monday through Saturday.
Oh, it's the greatest thing. It's also a cool birthday present.
Mm. Oh yeah.
So you can just call it for a friend and have it delivered on their birthday at night. It comes with you can have just the cookies, or you can get cookies plus milk.
It's affordable because I think delivered you're looking at like $13.
Yeah,
and it's like duh. Yeah,
and who doesn't want 4 huge, fresh,
just soft cookies,
hot
if
chocolate
you're
chip
like
cookies?
Me, I know that people are gonna gasp. I'm not an ice cream guy. I don't care about ice cream.
I'm not an ice cream guy either.
It's not a thing. I have to get an ice cream cone. I know you're one of them. It's not a thing for me. But if somebody told me, hey, so are you interested in getting some cookies? I'd be, hell yes. Where can we go?
So we know
and I would be all
Dane.
About that. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So it's chipcookies.co.
That would do
Check that out.
Yeah, and if you're in Boise, if you're in Utah, I think that's it right now.
Yeah,
it's
right
just those two.
They just opened it to Boise, Meridian, Eagle.
But
maybe us talking about it just doubled.
Well, and then for people out of those states, swear to you, if it was me, see if they have some franchise opportunities for whatever they're doing.
Dude, it's a killer business plan. They literally only have 2 or 3 types of cookies.
Yeah.
And then white milk and chocolate milk. That's it.
Dead simple.
And I can't even imagine how much money they're making right now. I'm sitting there like, oh my God.
Well, you think 130 orders. And each one minimum is $10.
130 orders in 1 hour, right? Yeah. And you're looking at a minimum. Yeah, you're looking at a minimum of $10, not including a tip, right?
Yep.
So if you tip them,
$5,
whatever it would be.
So you're $1,300 in a 1 hour.
And what's the margin on a cookie?
Well, you think you think about they've probably got 50 cents maybe in each cookie, and they're giving you 4 of them for $10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so they've got $2 in that plus their fee for paying the kid to drive. You're probably paying them an hour,
and I have no problem with that.
$10 an hour.
I will pay that
because they're all high school students that deliver.
Yeah,
and I will give a nice tip to any delivery.
But as a consumer, worth it. The cookies are worth it, right?
Yeah, they're delicious.
But as a business owner, it's like, no, duh, dude. Yeah. I mean,
no, they just moved. They were doing it out of a commercial kitchen that they had in Garden City.
Yeah,
that they were doing, and then they just moved to They actually purchased the old Addie's restaurant downtown.
Yeah, I was down there
turned
this
that
weekend.
into their new place. So
and
very minimalist and cool looking.
But it's a walk-in for folks that want to buy them. But it's also a very large organization where they can actually just cook and bake.
Now, Mark, I don't know. Don't quote me on this, but
only cookies.
I think they do countrywide shipping.
I think they do.
I think they do on their website. If you go on there, I think they do ship them. I don't know if they're going to be as good as they are fresh, but if you do choose to ship them, I'm sure they're doing like some type of priority 1-day shipping on these cookies to get them to you.
So we should get Chip Cookies on here so we can have them sponsor us.
We need to talk to them.
Well,
at least pay us in cookies.
We haven't heard much from Diet Pepsi.
Yeah,
sorry, Levi.
I mean, I'm still enjoying it. Like I said, it's the taste of a new generation.
Mark my words. Next podcast next week, we are going to have a box of Chip Cookies on here.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll have Ivan here.
Oh, well, but Ivan's on keto though.
That's okay. He can watch us eat them.
Okay.
That's
kind of torture. But
are you sure you don't want one of these, buddy?
Yeah.
Be like,
well, he'll just tell you about a keto recipe for cookies and be like, it's just as good.
I'm like, no, it's not. Ivan, get out of here. I need my sugar and my butter. Anyways,
love you, Ivan.
Levi, what'd you do?
Yeah. Silence.
Do we need a break?
I need to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you wanted to know about my weekend?
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's just say it was a very eventful weekend. So, first off, Saturday morning, Friday night, I took John's new car home. So John, our operations manager's wife.
John's new car.
His wife, Allie, bought a new RAV4.
New
in blue.
Toyota RAV4.
Toyota RAV4.
And it's in TRC blue.
It's beautiful blue.
Is it called Beautiful Blue?
I don't know what it's called.
TRC Beautiful Blue.
He's more of a Hyundai man than a
So
Toyota.
I gloss coated it. I own a Toyota.
I know, but you're more about the Hyundais. Anyway, continue.
So the he wanted me to gloss coat it. You don't know me, Dane. So I gloss coated it and did that for him. So I polished it Friday night. Just did a quick one-step on it.
How'd it look?
It was good. It actually wasn't too bad. The problem was it had a lot of glue all over it from the transport covers. All the little like white plastic sheets that they put on the car. Yeah. They'd peeled it off, but they hadn't really cleaned any of that off. Yeah. So I had to clean a lot of that stuff off. And then it had some water spots. I used Power Clean.
Okay.
Had some water spotting. And so I hit the hood and the front bumper and stuff just from being on the lot. So got all the water spots off, then polished it out. Just did a quick one step with some ceramic and an orange pad. With my 15 and then wiped the whole thing down, and by then it was like 10 o'clock, so I thought I'm going to bed. Woke up the next morning, blew everything off again with my microfiber or my compressed air solution.
The Levi Gates Master of Shine
compressed air solution version 2.0.
Very nice.
And
version 2.0.
Yeah.
That the 2.0 started when he attached his existing compressor tank. Okay.
Yeah.
That took
so
it from 1
I
to
had
2.
I had a version 1, and then I added version 2 by sticking 2 tanks together and sistering them together.
So it's literally
two air compressors put together, but only one of them runs.
Version 2.1.
So no, I have a lot of air.
It's 2.0, Dane.
2.0 air.
I'm making it up.
So. Anyway, used that, blew the car off, and then re-wiped the whole thing down again with paint prep, and then gloss coated the whole thing. So went through, gloss coated it, some Optibond on the tires, got that done. But before I did all that, I got up bright and early at like 6:30 in the morning with the kids, woke them up in their pajamas, and took them to Ann Morrison Park for the Spirit of Boise Balloon Rally.
Oh, yeah.
So took my kids and we went right down to the middle. Like we stood right next to one of the baskets as they were filling the balloon up.
Yeah.
You know, because, my daughter has sensory issues, but, I wanted her to experience it. And so she had her hands over her ears and she was just jacked. She loved it.
No.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So they're like hitting those flames.
You feel the heat of that thing as soon as they turn it on.
It's pretty dope. So we were there and I was standing right next to a friend of mine from high school. She was there with her 2 kids. And so it was kind of fun. So her kids are 5 and 6, mine are 4 and 7. And so the 4 of them just started like screaming and cheering and woo, oh my gosh, yeah.
Party.
They were like, I don't know what it's about little kids, but you get them together and they're just instantly like, it's a lot of woo, yeah. Wow.
These are my kind of balloons.
Yeah, they were jazzed. So it was fun. So I got to hang out there. So she took that picture of the 3 of us where if you guys look at my Instagram page, I got Augie on my shoulders and Hadley's in front of me. And so thank you, Nicole, for taking that picture. And we ran into my folks. They were there. My dad called and was like, hey, where are you? I was like, I'm by this black and white balloon. And he goes, I'm at the top of that black and white balloon. Where are you? I said, I'm at the basket. And he's like, oh. And I look over and he's like standing in line at the Moxie Java, like the coffee cart.
You're like back to back and he turns around.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm right here. Like, yeah. But he was up there. they stood in line. My parents stood in line for the entire like inflation of the balloons. Like now, folks, there are like 50, 60 balloons at the Spirit of Boise Balloon Rally.
Yeah.
Hot air balloons. And my dad was in the coffee line for the like entirety of it, basically, waiting to get coffee. So by the time he came over, they had already lifted the balloon up and they were getting ready to take off. And he's like, "Hey guys," and said hi to the kids. So that was fun. We took the little red truck out there and drove them, did that. Got home, they ate breakfast while my wife, I fed him breakfast. Carly went on a hike with her sister in the morning. So while the kids were eating, I went out, blew the car off, paint prepped it, knocked it out with the gloss coat, finished all that up, then let the gloss coat sit, grabbed the kids, got them dressed, took them up to Home Depot for the workshop, the children's workshop. They got to make little football
cool.
flipper things.
Always fun.
So they were stoked to get to do that. Brought them back home. Did a coat of OptiSeal on the car. Called John. Allie was on her way. She had borrowed the Elantra, and what'd she think? The words out of her mouth when she pulled up, she was like, "So that car's actually pretty fast."
She did not.
She did, and I was like, "Yeah, I know." And she goes,
"High performance machine."
I said,
"I drove downhill the whole way here somehow."
She's like, "I didn't realize how peppy it was." Like, she goes, "That thing's quick," and I was like, "I know." Like, nobody believes me. Nobody believes me.
Nope.
So
you got like a short ratio gearbox. It
was great.
In it.
So anyway, she was like, she was stoked. She got to see her car. She got to see Watson because John and Allie have 2 corgis.
Of course.
So she was super jazzed to see Watson and play with him. And then
cute little guy.
Carly had come home at that time, so she got to see Allie and say hi to her, and they talked about dogs. And anyway, she paid me, which was awesome. And then I cleaned up the garage, picked up everything, kind of put stuff back, organized again. And then I had some friends pull up with their Volvo XC90 that they bought from a dealership. Mm-hmm. They were like, "It's really rough," when they called me on Friday. And I said, "All right, well, yeah, I'll do the interior for you." I charged them $125 to do the interior.
That's reasonable.
They showed up and they were like, "Wow, it's actually cleaner." And I said, "I'm not giving you a discount. Like, that's that. Like, I was going to charge you more because it was filthy." I said, "It'll start at $125. And they were going to clean it, but they said the dealership had cleaned it. But again, they hadn't blown out under any of the seats. They'd basically looked like they took a wet rag and just wiped everything down and vacuumed the car. Mm-hmm. So there was still stuff everywhere. Cup holders were full of stuff. Headliner was dirty.
It's the non-detailer's idea of what cleaning is.
So using compressed air, I blew out everything, shampooed all the carpets, pulled out my little shampooer, hit everything, scrubbed and cleaned all the leather. Yep. Scrubbed the dash, did everything I could, got the headliner cleaned up, and then I released one of those new odor bombs, deodorizers, and antimicrobial agent into the vehicle. Got that set so it smelled nice. And was protected. Yeah. But I dressed everything, all the door panels, dash, center console, all that stuff, because it's one of those cars. It was all black, but it was so deteriorated and hadn't been touched that it needed to have conditioner put back into it.
Was it new or used?
It was used.
Like what year?
Oh, it was like an 04.
Oh, okay.
Had like
so
100,
this was older.
Yeah, and the reason they bought it was it had 100,000 miles. It was an XC90, but it was a V8.
Mm-hmm. With the Yamaha V8, those are good engines.
Yeah, so and that's what they said. They were like, we bought it because it's got the good motor. There are a bunch of little things that are wrong with it, and like armrest wasn't.
I know full well Volvos of that era have their little quirks. So.
Yeah, so there was little stuff like I drove it a little bit. It clunked a couple of spots, probably just a strut or something. But anyway, they got a really good deal on it. So they were like, this is going to be great because they have a lot of teenagers at home. Mm-hmm. And this is a vehicle, 1, they could all fit in, 2, the teenagers could drive. They were like, and that was what they said. They're like, we don't really care about the outside. The inside's gross. Steering wheel was covered in skin. The shifter was covered in skin. I mean, it was bad.
Oh my god!
Well,
it was
technically any car with leather steering wheel is covered with skin.
Yeah, I see what you did there.
Okay.
So got all that off, and
Dane,
then again,
like I said, get out of here. Yeah. Can you please go for that door? Leave.
Anyway, cleaned it, got all that off, got it disinfected, and got it protected with an antimicrobial shield on top of it. So they were stoked. Then Saturday night, Carly and I drove, took the little red truck and her car, we drove out to Eagle and picked up a scooter.
Thought you were going to drive out to the old cliff top and go for a good old kissing session in the
2 cars.
In the 2 cars.
Yeah.
Well, first I thought you were just taking the red car, but I guess that makes things a little weirder.
Both red cars, red car and red truck.
Go to the old makeout spot.
Yeah, I should have. That's a great idea.
Next weekend.
Next weekend I am. Throw a Mexican blanket on the hood of the Camry. See if we can stay on it.
I'm never riding on that car again.
Well, no, it'd be on the hood.
I'm never riding on the hood of that car again.
Dane.
So, anyway, we went out to Eagle, picked up. Carly found a scooter. Yeah, it's a new Hog. So my wife bought a scooter.
You sent me that picture trying to fool me, and I'm like, there's no Volkswagen that's small enough to fit in the back of your thing. And then you show a side profile picture of a Shadow, and I'm like, that's not a Volkswagen.
That's a scooter. So it's a 2007 Moto Bravo Paparazzi.
Ah, the Paparazzi.
Yeah, so
I know that.
150 cc's.
Yes, those things
it's got some
power.
pep in it.
It's fast.
Yeah.
No, I kid
this is
you
no
not.
49 cc.
No, this is a beast.
Yeah.
It has a salvage title.
Oh, really?
Has 5,000 miles on it.
Who is claiming a title? Who is claiming that damage on a scooter? That's the weirdest thing.
I found out apparently anytime you wreck a scooter, it's a salvage title automatically.
Yeah, but I mean,
because the parts are so
what
cheap
constitutes
on it.
a wreck, like just dropping it?
Well, yeah,
basically.
But you don't tell people about that unless somebody really just wants to get paid out on the
I
insurance.
guess we know we should never buy a motorcycle from Anthony.
Yeah, well, so anyway, basically, so they got it back and then they fixed it up and had it repainted, so it's a custom paint job. The girl loves Volkswagen.
It was
so
like a seafoam color.
It's
right?
like a lime. It's like that lime car wash green.
Yeah.
It's bright.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they put they glued a Volkswagen emblem onto the front fender.
Yeah.
And so Carly's like, we need to get that off, but I don't want to break it. Like I don't want to break the paint underneath. She's like, because I don't know if we find this custom color again, because it was a Volkswagen color, so I know that much.
Yeah.
So I got to find it, but it might be like a version of aphid green. And then they just put there's like a Dutch Brothers sticker on the front, and then on the sides they made like Hot Wheels stickers with Volkswagen logos on them. So I'm peeling all that off. It's got pink skulls. Anyway, Carly named it Gamora.
I like that.
And she's going to get she wants to get have John Francie make her like a sticker of like the Guardians logo on the front, and then she's
gonna look out for Thanos or she'll drive off a cliff.
And then she's gonna do a sticker.
Dane,
you didn't need to ruin it like that. And then she wants to do a little Gamora sticker on the side, like I said it's yours. You do what you want with it. Have fun. But she's been scooting around all weekend on it. She's been giving my kids rides on it.
Yeah.
It needs some things. Like I need to put a new taillight on it.
Yeah.
Probably a new headlight. It needs a lot of metal polishing because all the chrome is all bad.
Sorry. So first time
parts are cheap for that.
First time I ever rode one. So those are so as you can imagine, most of the parts there are made in China.
Yeah.
So there were several variations of that scooter because Alex with the Ford Raptor, she bought a scooter a couple of years ago. But we were looking for scooters for her because we got on the whole scooter kick, right?
Yeah.
I got my Grom. Everyone wanted to go ride scooters. It was fun. So I remember me and her and her boyfriend Andy. We all went out to go check out this one scooter at this one guy's place, and this thing, it was beat up, but it was the same brand, right? Same everything, and it was funny because the guy did the same thing. He put a different emblem on the front, because I think those emblems, you just pull them off and put new one back on. He put something on, I can't remember what he put on there. I don't know if it was a Ferrari or some type of logo. It was something funny. But we took that thing for a rip. She jumped on the back because I was like, well, do you want to ride on here with me so I can show you, so you can see how this is going to be? And she's like, yeah, because she's like, I just don't feel comfortable riding yet. Yeah. And I said, absolutely. So jumps on. I start giving that thing gas, and I'm like,
it feels like it's going to pop a wheelie.
No, I'm like, holy crap.
It's scary fast.
This thing moves, right? And she was like, how fast did we get this thing up to? I'm like, we got it up to 50-something, and I'm talking quick. And she's like, is this too fast for me? And I had to sit there and actually think to myself, this could potentially be too fast for you. I mean, this thing's pretty quick. And the brakes obviously aren't the most refined thing in the world. And so But I think those have the GY. I think it's called a GY6 motor. It's pretty standard. And
I was gonna say that gets used in a lot of different like projects.
They use a ton of the GY6 in a ton of different things. And it's a 150cc and it moves. But the seats were comfortable on them.
Yeah, it's got a big cushy seat on it.
Big cushy seat on it. You can fit 2 people on there easily. If you put a basket on there,
it's got pegs.
You can haul things or put things on there. I would say though the thing is in my opinion, this is just me saying this, but if I bought a scooter like that and I was using it just to putt around town, I probably wouldn't, maybe this is just me, I probably wouldn't insure it unless I needed the health insurance coverage or anything like that. Or you know what I mean? It's
so I insured mine.
Did you insure yours? Okay.
Ready to know how much it costs?
How much?
Nothing these guys are saying is official legal advice. Please don't hold them accountable.
Yeah, don't hold them accountable.
Full coverage.
Yeah.
Which apparently they can do full coverage on a salvage title.
Which I didn't think they can do that.
Which I have to imagine by relative standards is expensive for what it is.
What do you guess? A month?
Well, the problem is anytime I guess on insurance, it's
I'd probably say like $10 a month.
Yeah, that sounds right. I was going to guess like 12,
what was your guess?
15.
Yeah. So it's $15 a month for full coverage, or if you pay it all at once, it's like $12.
$12 a month?
What? So you pay it for the entire year. Yeah. So it was like $170 with tax. I was like, oh,
yeah.
I just didn't think they would insure that full coverage.
That's why I asked.
Because it being a scooter. Because I know on a Grom, I know that they typically, if a Grom salvage, there's no point in putting insurance on it because you're paying, I think it's $60 a month.
You have to have liability to ride them.
Well,
in case you hit somebody else.
It depends on what you're using it for, and that's what I was saying. If you're literally riding that scooter up and down the street, and that's all where you're going, it would be like having a dirt bike. But if you're riding across town, I recommend getting insurance. And I recommend wearing a helmet.
There's a lot of opportunities for bad things to happen.
So Carly got the helmet with it.
Okay, that's good.
And it fit her, so that was cool.
And Did Tyler approve of the helmet?
I don't know. I haven't looked at it. Whoever painted it did a shitty job. Yeah. So. Anyway, but the helmet, it works. She likes it, so
get her. Now, the only other thing you should tell her to wear is a pair of gloves.
Yeah,
hands down. If you're on a scooter, like I understand scooter rules are different. I don't know why that is. Just people feel like they can typically wear less protective gear on a scooter, which is weird because
I'm in capris and
you're still doing 40 on a 2-wheeled bike.
Absolutely, and you still see me on the Grom. I still gear up all the time on the Grom. But the most important thing to wear, yes, a helmet. Second most important thing to wear, in my opinion, would be gloves, and then wear some type of jeans or legged pants. Because if you go down on a scooter, first thing you do is put your hands out, right?
Yep.
You put your hands out. You have to be wearing gloves. Get her something that fits her, something that looks okay. Those are just important things when riding a scooter because road rash is still it's real on anything. It's real.
John's just been having to deal with that. He was on his bike.
Not fun. Not fun.
Especially so it was good. So we got the scooter. She loves it. She was giving rides to the kids. Her sister came over and threw her on the back. My mom came over on Sunday night. She threw my mom on the back. My mom screamed the whole time. She was squeezing onto her and
she needs to just hold that front brake, gas it out, pop that front brake up since there's no clutch.
Totally.
right out the dankest wheelie. On that thing,
just scraping on the rear.
Honestly, Hadley will probably just jump on that thing before you know it in the next 5 years or so, and she'll just be on one wheel down the street doing stand-ups.
Oh yeah, Hadley will have no fear. She'll do that. She'll
anybody
be doing
who
burnouts.
ever played Grand Theft Auto Vice City knows popping a wheelie on a scooter is one of the funnest things.
She'll be like, Augie, wet down this patch for me. She'll park it in front of the
start burning rubber
burnouts in front of the garage.
And Augie's just with the hose just spraying it down underneath her. Keep it going.
No, they would do that. When then Augie, we pulled out his Power Wheels.
Yeah.
And he was looking through the garage when I was cleaning it up, and he found I have some quick clamps, the rubber ones used to be on my Jeep that held my my shovel and my axe and stuff on my rack.
Yeah.
They're quick fists. That's what they're called.
Okay.
They're these big rubber things. So I pulled those off when I sold my basket and stuff, and put them all back in the box. He pulled the box. Well, it came with 2 small ones.
They're like pinch, right?
Yeah, so they're just these little rubber things with like a strap that comes down over them.
Okay.
Well, so he found those and he was like, "What are these for?" And I was like, "I don't know what the small ones are for. I think it's to hold like a tire iron or something." And he's like, "Can we put these on my truck?" And I was like, yeah, we can. And so I found some self-tapping small screws and just drilled them into the hood on his little green John Deere Ranger.
Oh, yeah. That's great.
Lined him up, and he's like, what can I put in there? And I was like, I don't know. You better find out. So he goes across the street to the old man's house, grabs a stick, comes back over that's like this long, like, 13 inches long and like an inch around, and like sets it. And then pulls the clamps over, and he's like, "That's my stick holder." And I was like, "It's a good thing."
That's a good stick holder right there.
So then he was driving around in the yard, like showing off, and he's showing the little girl across the street. I use it to fend off
wild animals.
He's like, "This is my stick holder." On there, I was like, "All right, dude, that's cool."
Pretty nice.
He was pretty jacked. And then I undercoated the truck.
Oh, nice.
Did that on Monday morning. Yeah. So
you have to mask anything off?
No.
Just went in at it.
So I mean, have you seen the truck?
No, you can feel my truck. It's perfect. There's no overspray on it.
Oh, I sanded it down.
No, I mean, like, I undercoated it. Why'd you undercoat it? Why did you mask everything that you undercoated?
I masked everything because I didn't want any overspray.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So the undercoat that I use and the amount of undercoat that I spray, I know how to control overspray.
What he's saying is he's better than you.
No. I'm just saying I've undercoated close 7,000 cars in my lifetime.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of undercoating, yeah.
It's going to be hard to catch up.
So I know how to lay the undercoat, how to get it to sit right. And the undercoat I use is very controlled spray. And so it doesn't shoot a lot. It's very rubbery, too.
That makes sense.
So it doesn't float. So when it hits the surface, it sticks to the surface. Any extra stuff falls straight to the ground.
Okay.
Oh, weird. Yeah.
Because it's heavy.
Because the way he was explaining it made it sound like it was bouncing back.
There is some because they use a
3M undercoat, and the 3M undercoat
is good, but it's got a very, very high pressured propellant,
and it's
to push that product.
Is rock hard. Like I'm talking, it's hard. Like
because it's got
so it feels like getting sandblasted if it.
Well, no, I mean the actual outcome, it feels like bed liner.
Oh, okay,
yeah. And this is more rubbery and soft.
Okay.
So it's a little more noise dampening version of undercoat.
Like gym flooring kind of stuff where it's that smooth, or not smooth, but textured. It's that rubbery texture.
Yeah, you push on it, you'll feel it's got a rubbery texture.
Well, like if you've been onto a playground in like the last 10 years, it's that squishy
it's rubbery.
Tile
that so if you got under and you feel some of your current rubber because it is a rubberized undercoat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So my stuff sticks. It's cheap. It's a high-tech brand. But it's one of my favorite undercoats. So anyway, did frame rails, front and rear, all the way, both sides. Did front and rear A-arms and lower control arm, lower cross members. Did rear differential, front rear differentials, sprayed the shocks, sprayed the leaf springs.
So when you
sprayed the inner fender wells of the back bed.
So that was the thing. Cause when you search undercoating, right, you see a lot of people they spray everything. Yeah, they spray everything.
I sprayed everything, but mostly because all my stuff under that truck is junk.
Yeah.
But the undercoat isn't thick enough to make it impossible to get off bolts and nuts and things like that.
Like if you got it on a brake rotor by accident or something.
Well, you just drive and it comes off. It's not going to hurt anything. I did
have Dane.
I just had the thing turned and it hit the tire, like the tread of the tire, and it went. No, it just went. And like squirted a little globule in the tire, and I was like, "Shit!" Yeah, I was like, that didn't work."
Yeah,
and so then I turned the nozzle and hit the inner fender well and stuff. Yeah, so there you go. It's good stuff. I really like it. If you want some, let me know, and we'll get. I might
use some on the Miata. It's not a big vehicle.
No, and I used to use it on the Elantra. I'd touch up some spots. Yeah. In the inner fender wells and stuff, and it's not gonna last as long, but it does a really, really good job of sticking to surfaces that aren't clean, which is a big deal.
So you don't have to prep anything, really.
You don't have to do a lot of prep to it. You just basically wash it off.
I like that lazy man approach.
Yeah, you pressure wash it, and it
stick it in and spray it, right, Dane?
Yeah. It's your lazy man approach.
Wiz has gone for too long.
Anyway, so got that done. Took the kids out, just kind of wandered around. We went to Home Depot, looked at Halloween stuff. All in all, it was a really good weekend.
Nice.
Had some friends come over Friday night to watch a movie, or Saturday night. So we got them over. They watched game night with us.
fun.
Nice, love that movie.
They hadn't
What
seen it yet.
Carly think? She loved the movie.
Well, we own it. So
okay.
We love it.
You're like, we watch it every week.
We watched it. Yeah. No, it was.
What do me and Bastion have the pleasure of this visit?
No, and it was with my buddy, the Marine, and his wife. They came over again, and so they hadn't seen it yet, and they were dying.
Did he die at the part? At the how could that be profitable for Frito-Lay? Like literally, dude,
he screamed.
Died.
Yeah, he screamed, and then when he got the bullet wound, and his wife is cutting, and he's like, too far, and he was laughing, and he's like, he said something like, that close of a range from a 357, that bullet would have gone through him right when it happened. He didn't and I was like, shh, don't know that.
You know that yet.
You're ruining the joke.
Over the arm.
But it was funny though. Like,
oh, that's weird. There's a similar identical.
But he was like, he said he was like, yeah, that would have totally gone through his arm. It wouldn't have stayed in his arm. Like,
no,
it was just funny.
I love when the neighbor he jumps and he slides across the hood. And he's like, I think I may have tarnished the finish of my cruiser. I was like, I like just the awkward how he points that stuff out, and then the part where the one dude's standing up on the table trying to get to the ceiling, and she's like, that looks really unstable, and he's like, I'm unstable. All right, we can stop quoting.
That was so anyway. It was a good weekend. It was a busy weekend with a lot of stuff. You had a crazy weekend.
Yeah,
you got some work done. And
I went out for a friend's birthday on Friday, but I didn't get into all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate it.
I still had a fun weekend.
You do have a life other than this place.
I do.
Okay.
Yes, he does.
So this is the start of a crazy week. Pan's coming tomorrow.
I know. We were talking about maybe starting.
Justin Pate, Ivan.
Starting to do a podcast.
Get ready.
Twice a week.
Well, we technically are because we're going to have them here. So
and that's the thing is, it'll work out that way anyway.
Yeah, it'll work out
because we'll have the guys here.
Yeah. So hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope you're having fun. Come if you're local and you're here, or you're not. Come check out Justin this weekend, Saturday, 9 to 3 here at the Rag Company.
All the information is available on the Rag Company Facebook page. You can look in the events. You'll see everything you need to know there. It may have been doubled up as an event because I think Justin
TWI
made his
did
own,
it. The Rap Institute also added it.
We had ours, so it's basically they both have the same info though.
Yep.
So, just want.
So we hope to see you guys there. Dane.
All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for listening. Thanks so much for watching. If you're on the Rag Company podcast YouTube channel, and we'll see you again next week.
See ya.
All right.
See ya.
Adios.